So, this is episode 2, part 7. I cannot believe 7 videos in this kind of project here so far. We're at 55% humidity. I'm going to turn this off. So, the condensation is still pretty bad up here. Probably won't be able to see it since I don't have the light on, but it's pretty bad here around where the attic fan and all is. So I mean, the attic fan may have been pulling a lot of it from that side to here, and it just couldn't pull it out as much. So I mean, it's possible that this attic fan is just a waste. Well, I mean, the only one way you'll know is use it and experiment with it, and that is what we've been doing for a few days. So we still have the vapor barrier down, and also we can pull water, out of the air in the attic, and we may pull some more vapor barrier or a piece of insulation out of the other side later. We'll see. So yeah, we're going to try to dry it out and possibly just plug that gable vent, and then maybe even put the dehumidifier up in the attic and let it run until it's dry as can be, and then see if it stays dry once we put the vapor barrier and stuff and kind of seal it up again. But for right now, I'm trying to get in contact with AC people and that may have experienced this or working on this type of system and see what their ideas are. So I was not happy with putting the temporary cover over the vent. It's got more condensation again, so we're kind of framing the fan in, so it's most of the air should go outside. It has this little black frame. You put 4 pieces together, and just to make it easier, I taped it, and here I just kind of cut a wedge out. So I'll probably shove this little area here with insulation, maybe try to seal it a little bit better. But I've kind of created a little frame there with the wood and all. So it's hard to get up here, but we've got it sort of properly installed. Put a little duct tape here, which may not stay forever, but it'll help seal the holes. Now it should be definitely at least 80 to 90% the way it should be. There's little holes here and there, so we kind of just tried to block them as much as possible to eliminate backdraft. If backdraft or something, or just whatever is causing more condensation when the fan's running, then hopefully this will fix it. We got it kind of shoved up in here, and you might can hear it running. So in our most problematic areas, if this kind of helps, we'll probably take the faced insulation off and leave it unfaced on this side here where the fan is pulling out the air and stuff, and on that side, which is the problem of condensation, I guess you could say. So that way, hopefully, the insulation itself acts as a buffer, and the paper face, won't be able to mold because there will not be any paper there. We'll also, I'm put some more insulation and stuff up there, any air gaps, get it, as air sealed as possible. So after talking to the HVAC experts, one of them, after a lot of questions, come to the conclusion that we were just running the house way too cold. Why does it matter when none of the rooms appear to be suffering? And why is this room suffering versus those? That's the question that I'm going to try to answer, because I think I know the answer. Blown-in cellulose insulation has a chemical treatment in it that prevents or resists mold. So if you got the plastic barrier all over the house that is separating it from the sheetrock ceiling, and you have this mold-resistant blown-in insulation, of course it gets a little damp, and then it evaporates. Damp evaporates. As long as the plastic vapor barrier does not get compromised, which over time it probably would, I don't know, because it's probably got staples and I don't know if the factory one has staples in it, but I know when we put them up like this, we have to staple them in. We can always tape the seams and tape the staple over the staple holes and stuff, and try our best to get everything sealed. So the next thing is the fiberglass insulation. Fiberglass doesn't feed mold, that's what I found out, but the paper backing face fiberglass actually does feed mold. So dust and debris and stuff in the attic that's pulling out of the air, or like, you know, pieces of OSB particles getting old and kind of, you know, sawdust or whatever, will feed molds. But we are going to take the paper face off, or just put unfaced insulation up here where the condensation is worse. Finish the seams up and all that stuff. And, you know, any air gaps that I see, I'm going to try to just stuff as much as possible. I think I'm going to put attic baffles at the sides there, so I can just stuff the insulation as much as possible, you know, to keep buffering, you know, the outdoor and indoor temperatures, you know. And when we get the attic baffles done, we may add some more poly just to make sure there's a better air seal between the, you know, where the soffit vent area is, and stuff the insulation there, seal the seams that we already have, make sure all the staples are flush, hammer them in, you know, and poly tape over all the staple holes to try to limit or prevent any staple holes from like leaking condensation into the sealing material. And so I've got some attic baffles here, so this is going to allow us to stuff the insulation on the, you know, over there where the soffit vents are really tight, and as long as these are there, this will allow airflow in these little grooves or gaps. We basically cut the attic baffles in half and just shove it underneath there. Let me see if I can get a view of it. See right there? So we're going to stuff all those holes with more insulation. So I've stuffed the little air pockets full of insulation after putting the attic baffles in. So it should get at least a little bit more ventilation. Put poly tape, you know, around most of the seams. I still have a few more left. And I put some more poly wrap inside where, you know, just to try to get it a little more airtight. As I said, I packed that with insulation. Then about a third, you know, maybe 5 or 6 foot, I took the paper face off of the insulation here. And this is not permanently installed yet because I still have to run the electric, see that cord coming down, to the laundry room area for the attic. That's pretty much it for episode 2, part 7. We'll see you in part 8.